We see that many people have come to this place. And the barrier of this place is broken. And a man is asking, where did that monster run off? And then that snake girl comes out, and she says, damn humans, I didn't think that in just 10 days that this horrible stench would appear the moment the barrier was broken. And then many people start attacking that snake girl together. And we see that many elders have come to that place. And all of them are attacking that snake girl together. And one of those elders is saying, use more force, we'll be ripping that demonic snake to shred today. And he is, Righteous Alliance Hachi Sect Elder Tian Fong. And due to the combined attack of all of them, that snake girl is defeated, and is killed. Then all the elders come down, and one of the female elders says, why do we have to kill her, we can seal her. Then another elder says, the Righteous Alliance has always eradicated such monsters from the very root. Does the Yaoqi land wish to go against the Righteous Alliance? Then we see another elder who says, good, now that the monster guarding the tomb is dead, we should quickly enter and look for the treasure. And he is, Tianbao Holy Land leader. And the saint says, Elder Qing Lin, this is in the area of influence of the heavenly demonic sect, but no one from their side has come yet. Should we wait? And the elder says, these heavenly demonic people, they must have known our Righteous Alliance was coming here, so they got scared and hid like a turtle. But then someone's voice starts echoing in that place, and he is saying, I'm sorry, but I'll have to disappoint you. And all the elders are surprised to hear that voice. Then when the saint hears that voice, she recognizes whose voice it is. And we see that the Supreme Elder and Ning Tian have come to that place. And Ning Tian is saying, the heavenly demonic sect is naturally here, even more, it's me. And all the disciples are surprised to see Ning Tian, and the saint is thinking, I knew it, of course he would come. Then the disciples start talking and they are saying, is this the man who's once a handyman for the heavenly demonic sect, became the Empress' husband, and then broke the hearts of many holy sons with simply his words? Did you know, I heard that he escaped 3 times while being chased by 2 powerful immortal Emperor realm experts too. And the second disciple says 3 times? How is that even possible? And the elders are listening to all those disciples. Then Ning Tian comes in front of them and says to the elders, with no tigers in the mountain, the monkeys are reigning. Since when is the Righteous Alliance strolling through the lands of the heavenly demonic sect? And after listening to Ning Tian, the elder in front of him gets angry and says to Ning Tian, a mere Earth King realm brat, how dare you mock the Righteous Alliance? I'll teach you a lesson. But the Supreme Elder comes in front of Ning Tian and says, Hachi Elder, you dare to teach us? And looking at the Supreme Elder, the other elder says, the Supreme Elder of the heavenly demonic sect is stronger than us, don't act rashly. Then the elder tells his companions, since we'll be exploring the tomb together, we should help each other, and not antagonize each other. Since the heavenly demonic sect has also arrived, let's go together. And we see Ning Tian, who is teasing the elder. And the elder is getting angry, and he is thinking, you brat, if you fall into my hands I'll beat you up. Then Ning Tian is asking the saint, and those sparkling guys are? Then the saint tells Ning Tian, over there are the Tianbao Holy Land Saints Jin Bao Dao and their holy son Zhu Yuan Bao. Next to the holy sun is Heaven Soaring Sect's Old Void Shadow. And Ning Tian says, I have heard of the Heaven Soaring Sect, but this is my first time hearing about this Tianbao Holy Land. Are they really rich or something? And the saint says to Ning Tian, Patriarch, you must be joking. By the way, the Righteous Alliance is known to be narrow-minded. Just now you embarrassed them in front of an audience, you must be careful later. And Ning Tian says to the saint, thank you for the warning, saint. I'll be fine. Then they go forward towards the door. And the elder is staring at Ning Tian. Then the elder says to the man in front of Ning Tian, you, go push the door open. And the man is surprised to hear this, and he says to the elder, me? There must be a trap behind the door though. But the elder starts staring at him and says to him, so, what about it? I remember you're from an ancient martial arts sect. Since you're here to hunt for treasures, you have to work to get it. And Ning Tian is thinking, this old man just wants to use the small sects like us as cannon fodder. If I refuse, they will definitely not let it go. Then that man goes in front, and tries to open that big door. and all the people are watching him from behind. But then demonic energy starts coming out from that door, and seeing that the man starts screaming, and a lot of demonic energy starts coming out from inside the door. But that door opens, and seeing this the man becomes very happy. But then Ningtian says, "Wait, don't move. Something is." And we see that something comes out from inside that door and a direct hit falls on the man's face. Due to which that man falls on the ground, and seeing this all the people get scared, and they are saying, "A ghost. It's a ghost. We must have disturbed the celestial soul in the tomb. He's seeking revenge." But then the elder tells those disciples, "Shut up. Don't confuse people with your lies. It's not surprising there would be traps in the tomb." And that disciple says, "But there's no weapons or formations." And then Ningtian hears the sound, after hearing what he is saying, the sound of a flute. And as soon as an elder hears Ningtian's words, he is asking Ningtian, "How can there be any sounds of a flute here? So many of us didn't hear it, but you did?" And the saint says, although the legendary patriarch has done many amazing things, in the end, he's still an Earth King realm cultivator. And the elder says, "Right? How could he notice something the strongest couldn't detect?" And the saint says, "The patriarch's correct, there's indeed a sound of a flute. It's the sound of the flute of a killing sound formation." And hearing this, the elder is very surprised that there is a killing sound formation in front of him. And the saint tells all of them, "I have read in ancient texts that the formation is extremely violent. Once its mechanism is triggered, it doesn't stop unless the intruder dies or the energy within it is used up." And listening to the saint's words, the disciples are saying, "The Yaoqi saint has great achievements when it comes to the Tao of music, she must be correct." And the other disciple says, "Ningtian actually heard the sound of a flute. Could it be that he has studied the Tao of music?" Another disciple says, "He's worthy of being called the legendary patriarch, he's quite something." And the elder says, "That man was killed after pushing the stone gates, so the mechanist must be on the gates. That killing sound formation is very powerful. How can we destroy it and enter the tomb then?" Then the saint tells all of them, "Don't worry, everyone. The Yaoqi Holy Land has sound-breaking art. I just need a sufficient amount of aura. One more person will have to cooperate with me to perform the art." And the saint points towards Ningtian. Then the elder says, "Who knows what else is hiding in that tomb? Could it be its energy absorption?" And the second elder says, "Yes, to break the formation, as long as someone is able to continuously giving their energy to the formation, it will break without force." So Ningtian says to that elder, "Huh? So the Righteous Alliance is thinking of risking human lives to enter?" So the elder says to Ningtian, "What's the big deal? If you've come here, it's because you want to grasp this opportunity. Instead of holding back the others, the ones with not enough power should help us advance." But Ningtian says to the elderly man, "What about you then? You don't look like you have long to live. Why don't you stop wasting resources and take the lead by helping us advance?" And after listening to Ningtian, elder gets angry and angrily tells Ningtian, "What did you say, you brat?" Then the saint says, "There's no point in arguing, the sound-breaking art doesn't require the energy of many. If the Righteous Alliance doesn't mind, I will help open the gates." And on hearing this the other elder starts getting angry. But the elder behind him says, "Whatever, the tomb is more important. We can open the gates, but isn't it too foolish for the saint to ask him to help? As far as I know, he's a weird disciple of the Earth King realm. How can he help you in the Tao of music?" And Ningtian says, "Yes, just because you don't know how to do it doesn't mean others don't." Then the saint says to Ningtian, "Patriarch, please reach out your hand, I will pass on to you the sound-breaking art." And Ningtian says yes to the saint. But the saint starts imagining something, and she is thinking, "Last time at the Immortal Spring, the Patriarch and the Queen Mother of the West played a piece together, it's remarkable. I have been waiting for this chance to experience it as well." And Ningtian moves his hand forward and the saint also moves her hand forward. Then the saint passed the art of breaking the sound-breaking formation to Ningtian. And the system tells Ningtian, "Detection of the host absorbing the sound-breaking art, tenfold comprehension activated. Comprehension complete." And Ningtian is now passing that art he understands. And Ningtian tells the saint, "So, this is the sound-breaking art. Saint, let's begin." And the saint is surprised and asks Ning Tian, "You're already done?" And when they see this disciple, they all get very shocked. And they are talking, he was actually able to comprehend the sound-breaking art in a minute. And the other disciple says, is he simply bragging? And a disciple says it would be fun if that was the case. Then the elder says, wait, I have never seen anyone comprehend such art so fast. Are you pretending to save face, sprat? And the other elder says, Yaochi saint, we can't leave our lives in the hands of this foolish boy. But Ning Tian says to both those elders, haha, I didn't expect the people of the Righteous Alliance to cherish their lives so deeply. Don't worry, two little frogs, and take a good look at what it means when people say there's always a bigger person. Then the saint takes out the music instrument and says to Ning Tian, if the patriarch doesn't have his instrument on him, here's mine. And Ning Tian takes the saint's musical instrument, and he says to the saint, thank you, saint. It's really good, much better than my guqin. Ning Tian is thinking, it would be great if I could get a Tao of music spiritual weapon someday. And the saint takes out the flute, and she goes close to Ning Tian. And Ning Tian is asking the saint if she is fine? So the saint tells him that yes, I am fine. Then the saint starts feeling something and she is thinking, my musical instrument is spiritually connected to me. Touching the guqin like this is like touching my body. And the saint says to Ning Tian, patriarch, let's begin. Then now all the elders together start giving their spiritual energy to the saint and Ning Tian. And we see that demonic energy is still coming out from that door. And as soon as that door opens, Ning Tian and the saint start playing the sound-breaking art. And a lot of spiritual energy is coming out of their instruments. And then a skeleton soldier comes out from the front, who has a sword in his hand and he is coming to attack the saint and Ning Tian. And seeing him the saint is thinking, he fought back with just a single note. I didn't think the patriarch's Tao of music was that advanced. And Ning Tian is also playing his instrument, and seeing both of them, both the elders are very shocked, and they are thinking, he was actually that good, the patriarch of the heavenly demonic sect shouldn't be underestimated. And then Ning Tian gets a reward from the system, and the system tells Ning Tian, you shocked everyone around you, skill card earned, treasure hunt card. And Ning Tian says to the saint, saint, follow along. And now both of them are playing fast, due to which a dangerous spiritual energy comes out, which directly destroys that skeleton soldier. And we look inside, where there is Kalinga flute formation, and the spiritual energy is going directly towards those statues, and due to the spiritual energy, both those statues get destroyed and that formation breaks. And Ning Tian becomes happy seeing this, and he says to the saint, thank you, saint. Your guqin was so easy and comfortable to use. But the saint is imagining about Ning Tian, and she starts blushing. And blushing she says to Ning Tian, no need to thank me, I'm happy it's satisfactory, patriarch. And seeing this, Ning Tian gets a little confused that why is the saint behaving like this. But then we see that all the elders and all the disciples together start going inside the door. And the elder is saying, now that the formation has been broken, it's time to go. Then they all reach inside. And the door also closes. And Ning Tian is saying to them, let's be careful. And as soon as they go forward, there are very big statues of them in front, whose eyes are red in color, and are singing. Seeing this, all the disciples are very surprised. And some disciples are saying, hey, are these stone statues moving? Don't scare me, how can a stone move? And the Supreme Elder says to Ning Tian, patriarch, be careful. Something's off about these stone statues. So Ning Tian says, really? I don't think there's anything off. So, there's no problem. And then all those statues start moving. And those statues are about to attack the disciples. And seeing this a disciple says, the stone statue came to life. Run away quickly. And some disciples escape from the attack of those statues, but some disciples get killed right there. But then they start attacking those statues, but their attack is not having any effect on those statues. And those statues are about to attack those disciples again, and it attacks a girl. And that girl is very scared, but then Ning Tian comes in front of her, and is releasing his spiritual energy. And his system tells Ning Tian, spirit destruction skill is being activated. Spirit destruction skill is successfully activated. And Ning Tian attacks the statue, and Ning Tian's attack is very dangerous, due to which the statue starts breaking, seeing which Ning Tian becomes happy, and that girl is very scared, but now she is saved. And Ning Tian is asking that girl what happened, are you okay? So the girl says yes to him, and thanks Ning Tian. And Ning Tian is thinking, looking at the things around, as expected, the stone statue moved because of the spirit that's engraved into it. And the spirit is the best nutrient for the spirit pearl. Since such a great gift has been offered to me so nicely, it would be rude to refuse it, and Ning Tian again attacks those statues, and destroys them very easily. And seeing this, a man says, the heavenly demonic sex patriarch. He's that strong? Then we see another man, who is saying, there are so many of us here, but none of us are as good as the heavenly demonic sex patriarch, who's only in the Earth King realm. And his other companion says the stone armor of these statues is extraordinary, it's something even we would find hard to handle. He's indeed a patriarch. And the female disciples go crazy for Ning Tian after seeing his strength, and she is saying, look at the patriarch dealing with the enemy with ease, he's so cool. He handled these stone statues without breaking a sweat. And Ning Tian starts attacking those statues very fast, seeing which a man gets very angry, and he is saying, Ning Tian, sooner or later, I, Lin Xiaoyao, will make sure you die a miserable death. And the system says to Ning Tian, you shocked the geniuses surrounding you and made them more motivated to fight. 5,000 cultivation aura earned. And Ning Tian is thinking, I'm overflowing with aura, I'm ready to break through. And Ning Tian says to the Supreme Elder, guard me. And Ning Tian sits at that place and starts cultivating, seeing which all the elders are surprised. And one elder is saying, what's he doing? And the other elder says he must have exhausted his aura. Another elder says when in the tomb, having no aura will be your doom. If you're exhausted, it's over. And Ning Tian is sitting comfortably at that place and absorbing spiritual energy, and he is about to break through. And as soon as one elder sees that Ning Tian has spiritual vision, he gets very surprised, and the other elder is saying, he's breaking through right now. And the female disciple is saying, I knew it. The patriarch is so full of energy, he cannot ever get exhausted. And the other female disciple says, yes, after all, Patriarch Ning Tian is the most capable man. And then Ning Tian gets a notification from the system, and the system says, congratulations to the host for breaking through, current 4-star Earth King realm reached. You shocked everyone, 1 more comprehension point in the God's record. Earned. Current comprehension level of the God's record, 40%, slight increase of progression. And Ning Tian is thinking 40%? Another 10%, and it will enter the stage of high proficiency, which will help me open more spiritual veins. Then Ning Tian says to the Supreme Elder, right ahead must be the main hall, let's go. And as soon as they all go ahead, there's a skeleton in front of them, who is sitting on a throne. And some people are talking, is this the main hall? It's bigger than the last one, whose tomb is it? And Ning Tian picks up a technique, and is looking at it, and he is saying, just look around and you're able to find techniques of a high level. The hall is full of top-quality spiritual weapons too. The owner of this tomb is very wealthy. And everyone is very happy to see all those treasures, and they are saying, ha ha ha, it's truly a treasure trove, with all these treasures, we're now invincible. But then we see that the eyes of that skeleton start to glow red. And Ning Tian and Supreme Elder feel this thing, and Supreme Elder is not able to understand what that thing was. And Ning Tian tells the Supreme Elder, it's nothing. Maybe it's just me being too cautious. And the Supreme Elder is looking at that skeleton, and he is saying, the one on the throne must be the owner. Aren't tombs meant to be a place where someone is buried? Why is he sitting down? And Ning Tian says, maybe it's an obsession of his, he's unwilling to perish. Then a man starts going towards that skeleton. Seeing him going, Ning Tian says to that man, the dead should be respected, the first sword sect shouldn't interrupt him, right? And that man says to Ning Tian, ha, I didn't expect the heavenly demonic sex patriarch to be a coward, you're even afraid of the dead. The owner of the tomb is wearing such nice things on him, for example, the ring he's wearing, even if he's already dead, it's definitely an immortal weapon, and the man is about to cut off the skeleton's hand, but then the skeleton wakes up, and he grabs the man's face. And the man is screaming very loudly. And we see that the skeleton is fully awake, and he stands up. And we see that the skeleton has attacked that man. And that man is asking his master to save him. And when his master hears that man's voice, he is very surprised. And he turns back and says, "Silence, sword. What's going on?" And when he looks ahead, the skeleton has prepared to kill his disciple. And the elder is saying, "Damn it! Why is that withered skeleton moving?" And everyone is very surprised to see this, and there is silence at that place. And an elder is saying, "Did it revive?" And the female elder says, "Elder Sword Moon, that's your sex chief disciple Silent Sword, right? Incompetent fool! There's so many dangers lying in this tomb. Why didn't you make sure your disciples stayed put? Do you want to kill us?" And Ning Tian is smiling and saying, "With such a treasure right in front of our eyes, of course there'll be someone greedy enough to try to take it away for themselves." And when the elder hears Ning Tian's words, he is very surprised to hear that there is a very good treasure in front of him. And when they look carefully, there is a ring on the skeleton's finger, and seeing which the elder says whether it is a storage ring. And one elder says this type of storage spiritual weapon must be hiding the tomb owner's treasures within, Sword Moon. And another elder is thinking, that idiot tried to get something so good for himself without telling me first. Then the elder moves forward to attack that skeleton to save his disciple. And the elder is saying, "Silent Sword, Master is here to save you." But that elder has a different plan. He is interested in that ring. The elder wants to make that ring his own. And the elder attacks the skeleton, but the skeleton creates a barrier, and the elder is saying, "If you like to pretend to be dead, I'll kill you and leave no bones." The barrier created by the skeleton is very strong, due to which the elder's attack does not hit him. And we see that the elder's sword breaks, and seeing this the elder gets very shocked, and he is thinking, "How can this be? My spiritual weapon broke?" And then the skeleton attacks the elder, due to which the elder falls very far away, and we see that the skeleton has injured his disciple very badly. He has absorbed all his energy. And Ning Tian gets very shocked seeing this, and he says, "Elder Sword Moon is a 8-star celestial realm expert, but he was sent flying with one move? And his letter kills that man, and his letter is moving forward and he is laughing." Then that skeleton attacks again, on those elders, but those elders are able to escape from his attack with great difficulty. And the elders are saying, "Are they the people of the Tianbao Holy Land? No wonder I didn't see them around. It looks like they have sneaked away somewhere else." And the other elder says, "Damn it, the information's wrong, it's actually the great Emperor's tomb." Another elder asks, "Old miser, what have you done?" So the elder says, "We just found another dark room, we didn't expect that there would be another formation inside. Most of my disciples were trapped inside the room, just now we got thrown out of nowhere. With only the power of the celestial realm, with the loss of so many men, this tomb may turn out to be too dangerous." And Ning Tian says to the saintess, "The great emperor is the strongest among the immortal emperors. If it's him." And the saintess says, "It's not something we can handle." And the skeleton is releasing its dangerous aura. And Ning Tian is thinking seeing this, "Why are you looking at me? Are you targeting me?" And the skeleton starts spreading its aura everywhere, and Ning Tian is thinking, "Damn it, is it towards me?" And the elders are saying, "Fellow cultivators, this place is too dangerous," and now they get ready to fight together, and all the elders together move forward to attack that skeleton. But then the skeleton uses his power, and traps them in a barrier. And seeing this the skeleton laughs very loudly, and Ning Tian seeing this situation thinks, "Such scary oppression. God's record." And Ning Tian uses God's record to escape from this pressure. And he attacks the skeleton, and seeing this another elder says, "I didn't expect that the patriarch, who's at the Earth King realm, would have such a fighting spirit. We must not fall behind either." Then all of them together again do a fusion attack on the skeleton. And a huge explosion takes place at that place. Then Ning Tian is saying, "It first trapped the 6 celestial realms, then suppressed us juniors. What's its a plan? Although I don't understand its plan, the only thing I'm sure of is that it doesn't want to kill us. And then we see that something comes out of that ring of the skeleton. And that thing takes the form of a girl, who goes in front of Ning Tian laughing. And Ning Tian gets very surprised to see that girl, and that girl says to Ning Tian, "You're very smart, I like you." And the saintess gets very surprised, and she says, "What a monster, you're toying with us." Then the little girl sits on the skeleton's shoulder, and laughingly says, "Welcome to my tomb, dear challengers." And everyone is very surprised to see that little girl, and they are saying, "She's the tomb's owner?" But she just looks like a little girl. And listening to that girl, Ning Tian is thinking, "Challengers? She called us challengers instead of robbers. That means this isn't just a tomb. Or is this tomb a trap, and she's been waiting for our arrival?" Then the saintess says to that little girl, "May this junior, Yaoqi Saint Zhao 11, ask about this senior?" And the little girl says, "Oh, you're Yaoqi's child? I didn't expect that there would be a new saint so soon after Yao Xian." And hearing this, the old elder gets surprised, and she says, "To actually call the great saintess Yao Xian by name, is this senior the third great sage?" And Ning Tian gets surprised and he asks the saintess. Then the saintess tells Ning Tian, "The third great sage and the great saintess Yao Xian were two powerful figures of the same generation who were close to one another." And the old elder is saying, "Didn't this senior embark on the path of becoming a god with the great saintess Yao Xian 300 years ago? The great saintess Yao Xian has fallen, so why?" So the little girl says, "Why am I still alive?" And the old elder says, "That's not what this junior meant." So the little girl says, "What is that path of becoming a god?" It's better to say it's the path to destruction. It doesn't matter if you're an emperor, as long as you step onto this path, you're destined to fail. Heavenly demon, Yao Xian, and all the rest, since you're Yao Xian's descendants, I won't let you go down that path of no return. I'll prevent it. Yes, all those strong emperors have fallen. And Ning Tian is surprised to hear this and he says, "What's the meaning of our training? It's better to end it now, once and for all." And Ning Tian is thinking, "No, this old monster is attacking us. The powerful enemy is truly unpredictable. The elders have also been trapped. Rather than wait for her to wipe us all out, it's better to take the risk and try to escape." But then Ning Tian starts laughing loudly, and the echo of his laughter spreads everywhere. And the little girl is surprised to see Ning Tian laughing, and she says to Ning Tian, "What are you laughing about?" At the same time the little girl is thinking, the Tao heart of this ordinary disciple is unstable, so why did he wake up so quickly? And Ning Tian says to the little girl, "I think what the senior said is absurdly wrong." And hearing this the little girl gets angry, and she says to Ning Tian, "So brave. You dare to say I'm wrong?" And the Supreme Elder says, "Patriarch, the third great sage is as strong as the Empress, don't anger her." Then Ning Tian says to the little girl, "People who practice the Tao are the ones going against nature. If that's what the senior truly thinks, then this senior should have fallen together with the great saintess Yao Xian. Why would this senior be here now?" And the little girl looks at Ning Tian and says, "You kid, you dare to speak so arrogantly?" But then she starts laughing and says, "Ha ha ha, great. Great. With such a will, you're like a great emperor." But everyone gets very surprised to hear the words of the little girl, especially Ning Tian. And he is saying, "Like a great emperor? Me?" And the saintess is thinking, as expected of the patriarch, he was able to affect the third great sage. Then the little girl starts going towards Ning Tian, and she is saying to Ning Tian, "Boy, seeing that you have impressed me, I'll give you an opportunity to improve your mortal physique." Then the little girl starts putting her power inside Ning Tian's soul, and she is saying, "Don't blame this senior. Not everyone would encounter such a good thing." And as soon as the little girl reaches inside Ning Tian's soul, she gets very shocked, when she looks in front of her, and she is saying in a very shocked state, This is Thunder Dragon's spiritual vein." And when she sees the Thunder Dragon in front of her, she gets even more shocked, and she is saying, "He's a true god." And the little girl gets scared on seeing the Thunder Dragon, and she says, "Was passing by and got curious, so I took a look. Don't worry, I'm leaving right away." And just then the Thunder Dragon is about to attack the little girl, seeing which the little girl gets very scared, and she quickly comes out of Ning Tian's soul. And she is saying to Ning Tian, this boy, so wicked. Not only does he have the godly physique, but his spiritual veins can also restrain a spiritual body's power. And then the system says to Ning Tian, you shocked the third great sage. Mind reading card earned. Mind reading card. See through people's thoughts and hear their inner voice. It works for 1 hour, and becomes invalid after use. And Ning Tian becomes very happy after getting this reward from the system. Then the little girl says to Ning Tian, ahem, your physique is very good. Looks like this opportunity of mine isn't suitable for you. And Ning Tian says this senior's excuse is acceptable. But the little girl says, shut up, give me some face. And the little girl again starts going near this skeleton, and she says to the old elder, 300 years ago, I was gravely injured and only a wisp of my spirit could be sustained. This tomb is just the last of my inheritance. And the old elder gets surprised to hear about inheritance, and she says, the third great sage's inheritance? And everyone is very surprised. And a girl says this is a big opportunity. And the little girl says, the pressure you felt just now was the first round of the trial. Those who were unable to break through the pressure have lost. There's only one ending for the losers. There's only one ending for the losers. Die. And hearing this, everyone gets very surprised, and the little girl starts using her power. And we see that there is something like a shadow behind those people, and a man is saying, if you fail, you die. This senior is too cruel, and the little girl says, let the trial continue. Also, I would like to remind everyone that you can obtain my inheritance only if you can get out alive. And Ning Tian is thinking about that little girl, she's a madwoman. And we see the little girl, using her power, saying, ah right, children of Yaoqi, wait here. My inheritance isn't suitable for you. When the trial is over, I'll send you out of here. And the female elder is surprised to hear this. Then she comes down and says thank you to the little girl. And the female elder is thinking, it's best to not get involved in such a matter. And then some disciples are talking, and one of the disciples is saying, it's so enviable that Yochi gets such treatment. And the other disciple says, right, who else is close to the third great sage? Then the saint says to the little girl, senior, I have another friend here, could be senior. And the female elder and Ning Tian are shocked to hear the saint's words. And the little girl is asking the saint, what? Is that your husband? Or the one you're in love with? So the saint says to the little girl, and no. He isn't my husband or anything like that. He's the husband of the heavenly demonic sex Empress. And the little girl is shocked to hear the saint's words, and she says, he's so young, and only at the Earth King real, but he's such a powerful wife. Then Ning Tian says to the saint, there's no need. I'm actually interested in the third great sage's inheritance. And the little girl gets happy after listening to Ning Tian, and she laughs and says, good. If I can get the inheritance, my physique will drastically improve. Second stage, and the little girl is about to start the trial using her power. And her skeleton comes down now. Then the skeleton has used its power, due to which many gates start opening at that place. And seeing this, everyone gets very surprised at what is happening here. Then the little girl tells those people, there are 9 gates. If you enter the golden gate, you'll live. If you enter the black gate, you'll die. And if you enter the purple one, you'll be trapped in a nightmare forever. Now choose. And after listening to the little girl's words, one disciple says, is there even a choice? Of course, we want to live. There's no difference between death and an endless nightmare. Then the other disciple says, wait, why is she so nice out of nowhere? Is trying to fool us with irony? Then we see 2 men and one of them is saying, no matter what, I'm choosing to live. And the other man says, I want to see if that great saint is tricking us. And Ning Tian is thinking while looking at the little girl, there is obviously a catch, but I cannot tell what's her point. System, use the mind reading card. Then Ning Tian activates his card, currently activating the mind reading card. Then Ning Tian is able to hear the thoughts of the little girl, and the little girl is saying, haha, life, death, isn't life death? Is death not life? Is it that easy to escape from death? So, no matter if it's the door of life or the door of death, they both end the same. And listening to the thoughts of the little girl, Ning Tian thinks, Only the third door can give me a way out. Then Ning Tian starts going towards the purple gate, and seeing this the little girl is surprised and she is thinking, that kid actually chose the purple door. And Ning Tian goes inside the purple gate. And when he goes inside, he is saying, is this the smell of blood and smoke? Inside is the heavenly wind city? And when he goes inside, he sees a disciple of his sect, who is saying to Ning Tian, Patriarch, avenge us. This place is an illusion, due to which Ning Tian is seeing the scenes of his past. And when he goes ahead, he sees the man who killed the female disciple of his sect. And at that time the girl is asking Ning Tian to save her. But the man who is killing her is saying to her, all men of the heavenly demonic sect are useless, they can't even protect one woman. And Ning Tian sees how he has killed that man. But that man is saying to Ning Tian, what? You want to avenge your fellow disciples? And Ning Tian says to him, do you think I wouldn't dare to? But that man is laughing very loudly and is saying to Ning Tian, kill me. If you don't, I'll slaughter your entire sect. And Ning Tian is getting very angry after listening to his words. And Ning Tian is surrounded by many shadows. And that shadow is saying to Ning Tian, right, I want to avenge them. All these shadows are washing Ning Tian's mind, and Ning Tian is saying, I'm going to kill you all. Yes, all of you. But then a golden-colored aura starts coming out from Ning Tian, and he is saying, as long as you start killing, you'll be trapped endlessly fighting here. No. He's already dead. He's a dead man, why would I kill him again? What's going on? Suddenly, I feel so dizzy. And then Ning Tian's eyes open and he gets up from his bed, and holding his head he says, I'm in my room? Was that a dream? And then Luo Wuqing comes to that place, and she is saying to Ning Tian, you're awake? And Ning Tian is surprised to see Luo Wuqing near him, and Luo Wuqing puts her hand on Ning Tian's head and says to him, you have been sweating profusely. What was your dream about? And Ning Tian says to Luo Wuqing, I dreamt about a bunch of people in a tomb. I entered the door of nightmares, and then I saw the heavenly wind city. And Luo Wuqing says to Ning Tian, you must have tired yourself from all the training. Let me help you relax. Husband, how do you feel? Then Luo Wuqing starts coming closer to Ning Tian, and Ning Tian is surprised to see this action of Luo Wuqing. Then Ning Tian holds Luo Wuqing's hand and says to her, I feel like your acting is a bit too much, my wife isn't like this. But Luo Wuqing does not reply to Ning Tian's words. Then we see that the saint is at that place, and Queen Mother is also there. And Ning Tian is very shocked to see those people, and he is saying, damn, why did these two appear too? How on earth am I supposed to fight this? 3 against 1? Then we see that now Queen Mother and the saint both are feeling very horny, and the saint is also looking at Ning Tian very lovingly, and she is saying to Ning Tian, naturally, it's something that will make all of us happy. Then Luo Wuqing snaps her fingers, due to which the whole scene changes. And Ning Tian is very surprised to see this place, and he is saying, the immortal spring? And the saint is in front of him, and the saint is saying to Ning Tian, Patriarch, this spring contains your spiritual cue. Every time I come into the spring to bathe, I can't help but think of the Patriarch's magnificence that day. If we cultivate together here, it'll give us great benefits. Then Luo Wuqing and Queen Mother come close to Ning Tian, and Luo Wuqing says to Ning Tian, dear husband, come on. Let's break through together. And after listening to their conversation, Ning Tian is thinking, this place is no different than the heavenly wind city. If I cannot withstand the trial, I'll sink into lust and die when they're done with me. Then Ning Tian says to Luo Wuqing, I said that my wife doesn't act like this. Queen Mother of the West, Yao Qi Saint, this isn't you either. And this, I've seen through your tricks. And after listening to Ning Tian, Luo Wuqing says to Ning Tian, I don't believe that you can withstand it. And the Queen Mother says to Ning Tian, that's right, sisters. We need to show him how strong we are. Then we see that Luo Wuqing uses her power to create a lot of shadows, which start moving towards Ning Tian, and Ning Tian starts feeling the pinch, and all the shadows are saying to Ning Tian, dear husband, don't you like me? Why don't you look at me? But then Ning Tian asks the system to activate God's record, due to which a golden-colored aura starts coming out of Ningtian's body, due to which all the shadows go away from Ningtian. And Ningtian opens his eyes and he says happily that finally it is over? And there is a purple gate in front of him, and he is coming out of the purple gate and saying, "I'm not the simple man you see me as." And when he comes out of the purple gate, there is a very good view in front of him, and Ningtian is moving forward and saying, "Is that within the dream? Or have I left that hell and returned to reality?" But then someone calls Ningtian, and when Ningtian looks back, there are two disciples behind him, and the first disciple among them says to Ningtian, "The patriarch has returned too." But as soon as Ningtian sees both of them, he steps back, and seeing this both disciples are very surprised. And Ningtian is thinking while looking at both of them, "I don't know if they are an illusion or not," and asks the system to activate the mind-reading card, due to which Ningtian is able to hear the thoughts of both of them, and the first disciple is thinking about Ningtian, the patriarch so strong. "If only I could be as strong as him." And the second disciple is thinking in his mind, "Is this the legendary patriarch of the heavenly demonic sect? He's kind of handsome. I heard he's a true man of character. I wonder is he better than me?" And Ningtian is surprised to hear the conversation between them, and he is thinking, why are the Tianbao Holy Land's disciples so weird? Listening to their thoughts confirms that they're real though. "It looks like I'm back to the real world." Then Ningtian said, "Holy Sunling Ao, when did you return?" So the disciple says, "Patriarch, we just arrived after you." At the same time he is very happy and says, "I'm speaking with the patriarch." Then Ningtian asks both of them, "Did you come out of the purple door? What dream did you experience? Don't tell me that you came from the life door." And the disciple says yes to Ningtian and he tells, "After entering through the door, I met several wicked spirits at the peak of the Earth King realm. I arrived here after killing them." And Ningtian gets very angry on hearing this, and he says that I have been tricked. And the system tells Ningtian, the host, to calm down. This isn't the system's fault. While the host was using the mind-reading card, the third great sage happened to be thinking of something else. Then Ningtian is saying while thinking, "Looks like that senior planned to take advantage of people's reverse point of thinking from the beginning, making the trial hard to predict." And the disciple says to Ningtian, "Patriarch, could it be? The patriarch came out of the purple door?" So Ningtian says yes to him. And as soon as everyone hears that Ningtian has come from the purple door, they all get very shocked, and they are saying, "The dream created by the great emperor was defeated by the patriarch?" Yes, senior brother and others chose the purple door too, but they haven't returned yet. I heard that most of the people who chose that door didn't return. I guess that it's a hard trial to defeat. And then the system says to Ningtian, "You shocked Ling Ao and the rest, elementary earth rank martial art earned, sword tracing shadow. Tenfold comprehension. Comprehension complete. The host's godly physique has slightly improved." And listening to the system, Ningtian is thinking, "The godly physique always amazes me, but this time, the effect wasn't as good as the system's tenfold speed and thunder tribulation spiritual veins, perhaps because there is no cultivation progress." Then we look at Ningtian's status. Host, Ningtian, strength, 4-star Earth King realm, physique, godly physique, small progress, skills, god rank skill, god's record, small accomplishment. Martial arts, water dragon step, heavenly demonic palm, heavenly sound slasher, nimble path, sword tracing shadow. And Ningtian is thinking, "It happens, but how can I improve my physique?" Then we see a man who is getting very angry at Ningtian, and he is thinking, "Damn it, how did this guy get so lucky and not die within the purple door?" But then some movement starts happening at that place, feeling that everyone is very surprised, and they are unable to understand what is happening. Then they see a tree. And when they look carefully, they see many weapons, which are very powerful. And these are immortal weapons, and as soon as they look at the weapons, one of those men becomes very powerful. He moves forward rapidly to get those weapons. But then someone attacks that man, due to which he dies in one stroke. And seeing this, all the people get shocked, and one of them is saying, "That man just now was at least at the Sky King realm, but he was killed on the spot with just one palm." Then we see a beautiful, let's look at the lady who is talking to those people, those who dare to break my third great sage's rules shall die. She is the third great sage's big sister? And all the people are very surprised to see the third great sage, and they are saying, Third great sage? How did she grow up so quickly? And the other man says, wasn't Senior outside of the trial? Then the third great sage tells all those people, the one left outside is just a remnant. I'm the real trial examiner. And Ning Tian is thinking after seeing the third great sage, so that's why she looks similar to that little girl. And the third great sage tells all those people, the third trial consists of the ancient tree behind me. You will form a team of 10 people. The ancient tree will give birth to a corresponding number of light species with weapons in them. There'll be different spiritual weapons and an immortal weapon among them. And after listening to the third great sage's words, everyone becomes very happy. And one man is saying, corresponding number. So everyone gets one? And the other man says, yes, if you're lucky, you could get the immortal one. Then the third great sage tells them, within a stick of incense of time, only the one who gets the immortal weapon will survive. And as soon as they hear what the third great sage says, they are all shocked and say, if we don't get the immortal weapon, we're dead? Doesn't that mean 9 must die? Then Ning Tian says the meaning is that the path towards becoming a god is by destroying the Emperor's path, right? And after listening to Ning Tian, the third great sage says to him, did you notice something? Then Ning Tian says the battle to become a god. Countless strong cultivators fought one after another to reach that goal. Some couldn't even reach the battlefield to challenge the path. Senior wishes to recreate that battle, right? It's just that the path towards God's path has been changed to that immortal weapon. The trip from the shore to the lake's heart is only a few dozen miles at most, but you gave us 1 stick of incense. I suppose that there's something else waiting in the lake that would be interesting, besides watching us kill each other. And after listening to Ning Tian, the third great sage starts laughing and says, ha ha ha, boy, you make me like you more and more. Then the third stage shall begin with you, and the third great sage starts using her power, seeing which everyone gets very surprised. And the third great sage using her power starts making all those people fly in the air, and seeing this Ning Tian is thinking, 6 righteous disciples and 3 strong cultivators of the celestial realm. They must be full of ill intentions, so I must stay cautious. And there is a man behind Ning Tian, and looking at Ning Tian that man is smiling, and is thinking, there's always a way if you wait. Ning Tian, you're destined to die by my hands today. Then the third great sage is smiling and saying, I have 3 more things I would like to remind you of. First, after the beginning of the third stage, you won't be able to see the weapons within the light specks. Second, once you touch the light speck, it's regarded as locked, and you can't change your decision. It cannot be snatched by others either. Third, if your time ends and you still haven't touched one, it's considered a failure. You don't need to guess the consequences of that. And now everyone moves forward to take the treasure, and a man attacks a dragon and says, what is all that about destroying the Emperor's path to become a god? Such pretentious words. Just watch me. But that dragon is very powerful. And the dragon attacks that man, and with great difficulty that man is able to dodge the attack of that dragon. And Ning Tian is also dodging that dragon's attack with great difficulty. And the dragon attacks Ning Tian again, and at the same time he is thinking, I didn't expect monsters in the lake. But then someone attacks Ning Tian from behind, which Ning Tian notices, and very easily dodges that attack. And we see that there are many people attacking Ning Tian. And one of them is saying, you actually managed to avoid 2 consecutive attacks, Ning Tian, you're so resilient. And Ning Tian says smilingly, I was wondering who it was, it turns out it's the Lin bastard who's thinking of others' wives. And after listening to Ning Tian, that man shouts and says to Ning Tian, you're only in the 4-star Earth King realm. The weakest among us are at the same level, and young Master Xiao Yao is even in 8-star. We will definitely end your life today, Ning Tian, don't worry as after you die. And Ning Tian gets very angry after listening to those people, and he says, you have a death wish. Then Ning Tian starts using his power, due to which a golden-colored aura comes out of Ning Tian's body. And the third great sage is also watching all this, and she is surprised and says, so that boy has more than just the thunder tribulation spiritual vein. And Ningtian asks the system to activate Sword Dao. Then Ningtian attacks those people, and Ningtian's attack is very dangerous, seeing which everyone is surprised and they are saying, "How is that brat so quick? Quickly circulate your aura." But Ningtian kills them very easily, and the system is saying to Ningtian, "Elementary Earth rank martial arts, sword tracing shadow activated. Your sword follows your will." And all those people are killed, and among them there is only one man, a kid, who is very shocked and is saying, "He killed 5 people in an instant. How is that kid so strong?" And then Ningtian comes behind that man and says to him, "How can you lose your calm during a battle?" And before that man understands anything, Ningtian attacks him with a heavenly demonic palm, due to which that man starts going directly towards the dragon's mouth, and the dragon eats that man. And seeing this, those people get very surprised, and one of them is saying, "So strong. He wiped out 6 people in the blink of an eye." Then Ningtian looks back and is thinking, "Damn it, Lin Xiaoyao delayed me too much, they have already made their choice." System, activate the treasure hunt card. And as soon as the treasure hunt card gets activated, Ningtian starts moving towards those people very fast, and we see, a man is about to take the immortal weapon, and he is very happy. But then that man notices something, and when he looks ahead, he sees Ningtian moving towards a treasure, seeing which that man is thinking, "How did he know that's the immortal weapon? This boy is the heavenly demonic sex patriarch, so he must have a way to hunt for treasures given to him by the Empress. That must really be the immortal weapon." Then that man attacks Ningtian to stop him from taking that immortal weapon, and Ningtian notices his attack, and with great difficulty dodges his attack, and Ningtian says to that man, "I saw it first," but that man does not pay much attention to Ningtian's words and tries to take the immortal weapon directly, and he is saying to Ningtian, "But I got to it first." And then everyone sees that the man is about to take the immortal weapon, so they get very angry, and are saying, "Damn it, he picked the immortal weapon. He's so sloppy." And we see Ningtian. And Ningtian is saying, Now that it came to it, I can only begrudgingly choose the actual immortal weapon." And Ningtian is about to take the real immortal treasure, and seeing this everyone gets very shocked. And we see, when Ningtian is taking the immortal treasure, a very strong golden-colored energy is coming out, and Ningtian happily says, "Indeed, the intermediate stage immortal weapon, Great Immortal Guqin." And Ningtian has taken the real immortal treasure, and the name of this treasure is Great Immortal Guqin. Then we see that man, who is getting very angry with Ningtian, and angrily saying to Ningtian, "Bastard, you tricked me. This immortal weapon was meant to be mine." But Ningtian smilingly tells that man, "But I got to it first." And after listening to Ningtian, the man shouts again and says to Ningtian, "You're the heavenly demonic sex patriarch, how can you be so shameless and despicable? Your sect has lost all its face because of you." But Ningtian says to that man, "There's no such thing as shame when one does what they can to succeed. Weren't you the same after all?" And after listening to Ningtian, blood starts coming out of that man's mouth. Then we see both of them, and the red-haired man is saying, "One sentence from the patriarch was enough to make a cultivator in the Sky King realm spit blood. He's worthy of his title of patriarch, so amazing. He's truly extraordinary." And his partner says, "If I had the patriarch's shameless spirit, I would definitely be able to lead the Tianbao Holy Land into becoming the richest power." And then the system says to Ningtian, "You slightly shocked everyone, awarded the title, the Shameless. Effect, increased defensive character." The host shouldn't be surprised, as anything the host can imagine, this system can do. But Ningtian is not happy with the reward system and he is thinking, what the hell is this title? But then all the people together move forward to attack Ningtian, and are trying to snatch Ningtian's immortal treasure, and they are saying, "Brat, even if I die, I'll catch you." But then before they can attack Ningtian, someone attacks him, and kills him very badly. And we see that the one doing this is the third great sage, and the third great sage is saying to them, "The stage is over. According to the rules, only one shall survive. You actually found the real immortal weapon, I underestimated your skills." And Ningtian says to the third great sage, "What? You can't bear to part with it? You didn't say that we have to return it." And after listening to Ningtian's words, the third great sage gets very angry and shouts at Ningtian, "Who do you think I am? Wait here until the others pass their test." And Ningtian is thinking, she said it's a 3-stage trial. But who knows what she has in her sleeves? It's better if I make the immortal weapon recognize me as its master as soon as possible to ensure my safety. Then Ningtian uses his blood and drops it on the immortal treasure, and we see that a very bright golden light starts coming out, seeing which Ningtian gets very surprised and he is thinking, looks like the master of a Tao of music, an immortal weapon that is directly bound by the soul. Not only that, but its attack will also cause damage to the opponent's soul. It's truly an immortal weapon. And the system tells Ningtian, the host's perception of the Tao of music increased. And Ningtian is thinking, wait, if the immortal weapon is bound by the soul, then I used the Yaoqi Saint's Guqin, didn't I actually touch her body? And Ningtian starts imagining what he is doing, and by imagining this Ningtian starts blushing, and he is saying, it's just a soul connection, not a true touch, it's nothing. After 1 hour, we see that 4 people are walking towards Ningtian. Then the third great sage says to them, so few people are left. Yes, there are 5 people left, which is better than expected. And they say, yes, it's finally over. Can we leave now? But the third great sage tells them, don't celebrate too early. Next is the final stage, and everyone gets very shocked after listening to the third great sage's words. But Ningtian is saying, just as I expected, it doesn't end. And then the third great sage starts using her power, and she is saying, void transpose? This is something only a great emperor can use. As long as you can pass the last stage, the inheritance, and many treasures within the tomb shall be yours. And after listening to the third great sage, all 4 people become very happy, and one of them is saying, Great Emperor, I want to try, and the other man says, yes, no matter what, we want to join. Then the third great sage tells them, the last stage is to kill me. And after listening to this, all 5 people get very shocked, and there is silence at that place. Then Ningtian says to the third great sage, is the senior serious? It's impossible for us to join forces and kill senior with our current strength. But the third great sage tells them, no, not by joining forces. 1-on-1.